What would be a dream band for you to release?
I'm really happy to work with anybody, first off. But a dream band, there's
Rock.
Who's that? there's a couple local bands here who I'm really big fans of. Wait, what did he even say?
I think he said Kid Rock.
Kid Rock?
Hi, this is Dia. I am a DJ and host of two shows, Radio Realness and Synthdactyl program, which are both on KSPC radio. I also curate Switched On Cinema, which is a live scoring event at Philosophical Research Society, which I pair local electronic artists with art films. And tonight I'm here with Tom from Suburban Helltapes. Hi, Tom.
Hello.
It's nice to see you.
Nice to see you too.
I looked at a couple of your videos that you did in interviews, so you're on the other side now.
Oh, feels weird.
Does it? And you look totally different too.
Yeah.
You're super cash in those ones. Now you're fancy.
Well, if it's me getting interviewed, I gotta make sure I look nice, right? So
I get it. So on your Bandcamp for your label, you wrote Southern California Inland Empire indie tape label. We seek to rehumanize ourselves through shared experiences. Can you share what this means to you in context of your relationship to music and supporting local bands?
Yeah. So that just came to me one day, and I kept thinking about it when I had the idea to do the tape label a few years ago. Mm-hmm. And it's all about shared experiences. Is all about like going out and doing things in person and talking to people and making friends, making connections, and seeing live music, and of course, buying physical media and collecting physical media. So, when we go outside in the real world and we get off our computer, phone, whatever, and get out of our house and reconnect. That's all I'm trying to do with Suburban Helltapes and bring people together. So
you shared just a little bit about the label just now, but how did you start your label and what's your goal with it?
Started maybe 2 or 3 years ago, and I've always been into making music on my own, and then I have quite a few friends. I went to Upland High School, and a lot of my friends there are in jazz, and they're into making music as well. And so originally it was just a kind of a label for me and my friends to release music on.
So you started off with a group of people?
No, it's really, I've been making it, all the tapes and everything myself, but it's more just been my friends are putting music out on YouTube or Bandcamp, and I'm like, hey, let's do physicals, let's do tapes, right? So I want to shout out my one friend in particular, Chris, who's Azimuth, if you see him on Bandcamp. But he was making tapes for his music, and that really inspired me. And I'm like, hey, can you show me how to do this? And walk me through it. And after that, I really fell in love with the process. It's so fun.
What is your relationship to cassette? We talked about it a little bit. Did you choose cassettes because of its cost effective or because of the way it looks, the way it sounds?
Yeah, so I've always been into physical media. I had CDs as a kid and CD player as a kid growing up. And then I started getting into vinyl when I was a bit older. But vinyl is, kind of expensive if you want to collect a lot. So, when I was in high school and more broke and stuff, cassettes started to really appeal to me because you can get them for $2-3 a lot of the time if they're used. Another thing about cassettes is you can just make them at home. You can't necessarily make vinyl at home.
That's true.
Cassettes are pretty easy to make. So
you make them at home?
Yeah. I do all the recording myself. I do the artwork design, and I get the artwork printed at Claremont Print and Copy, where they do the Claremont Courier. Yeah. I order custom-made rubber stamps for all the stamping that goes on the actual cassettes. Stamp those myself and try not to have them be smudged. Yeah. It takes a few tries sometimes.
So they're all limited editions also, the ones you release?
Yeah.
Kind of.
Yeah, I started doing I think the first few runs were 30 or 40. And now I've done some that are 50 and 60. And then I did do one really big run for last year for So Concerned. That was 100, and that was a lot of work, but it was really satisfying to do that many.
I had no idea that people are doing them in their homes. That's so cool.
Yeah, you really just need one good deck to record off of. I started having just a single deck, so I was only making one cassette at a time, or one side at a time. Takes forever, right? But eventually I got 2 decks that are double decks, so now I can do 4 at a time. So it's a lot quicker now. Yeah.
That's cool. What advice would you give to people that want to start their own label?
Well, decide if you want to do CDs or tapes or whatever. Vinyl, you could do that, but it's going to be a lot more expensive. So I would say start with CDs or tapes. And then, just find out what music is in your area and what artists are local to you. I think that's the best place to start. And when it comes to making tapes, the place everybody that I've talked to gets them from is this website called Duplication. They're a Canadian company.
Cool.
And tapes are pretty cheap.
I hope you still can get them.
Oh yeah, I hope so too.
After.
Well, they just opened a new branch in like on the, I think it's on like the East Coast somewhere in the U.S. So they do have a U.S. factory now. But I've noticed even when I order from them, it still like comes from the one in Canada. So I don't know. Maybe it's closer to me in California here.
Maybe.
But yeah, no one else is going to tell you this, okay? Cassettes are cheap. You should not be paying a lot of money for cassettes. When you order blank cassettes that have no music on them, it's like $2 or $3. So people who are charging you 10 or 15 bucks for cassettes are really ripping you off. I've been seeing, when I go to record stores, there is some people who are making like bootlegs of like popular current music. I don't know if it's, I mean, maybe they're not bootlegs, maybe they're official, but you know, it'll be more recent music that's come out in the last couple of years that's like mainstream music, and they'll be selling for 15, 20 bucks because it's like a big artist. And I think that's crazy. I think that's crazy.
Yeah. I mean, the most I paid for a new cassette has been 20, but my whole thing was like, it's a touring band. I know that it didn't cost $20 to make, but
no, if
bands need gas money and food.
If it's your friends and you want to support them, yes, absolutely, you should do that. And if it's like local musicians, yeah. But I'm not anti-markup. Let's take it back a second here. Okay, I'm not anti-markup. So when it comes to streaming and making money off of music and musicians making money off of their work, most likely you're not going to, if you're an up and coming band or a local band, you're not going to make a lot of money off of streaming. And selling merch is going to be your primary way of making money. So in that case, yes, I would absolutely say buy local bands merch, buy what they're making, buy their shirts, buy their cassettes, buy their CDs, buy their vinyl. I think that is the role of physical media now, like that has filled. To be a way to sustain bands and to like have them have an income on tours and stuff, because it's really hard to make money from streaming in my experience, all the bands I've talked to.
Yeah. Glad you covered that. And going back to physical media, where do you see physical media going? We talked a little bit about it, about how you said that people are really into CDs again. Yeah.
So like I was saying, I grew up having CDs, and I thought they were annoying. And personally, like when I was a kid and stuff, they get scratched, they start skipping and everything. My dad, he had a huge CD collection, and then he never like kept them in the cases, so they were like unlistenable. But that's just my experience with CDs. When I talk to people who are a bit younger and they didn't grow up with CDs, they really love them. And one of the things CDs and cassettes have in common is they're both cheap and you can make them at home. So they're really like a great medium for releasing your own music. So I'm turning around my opinion on CDs. I'm becoming a bit of a pro CD person. I've had a couple bands ask me if I'll do CDs along with tapes, so that's something I might start doing soon. Going back to what I said about the whole, we want to rehumanize ourselves through shared experiences. Like meeting somebody, buying their work in a physical form, it doesn't get more like tangible and real than that. That's a real experience right there.
It's true. I agree. And then do you still perform?
Oh.
And what is that like, being an artist, running a label and releasing other bands?
So originally the label kind of started as like, this will be the way for me to release my music and my friends' music.
Yeah.
And then once I started doing releases, I was like, wow, this is almost more fulfilling, and like, it feels like almost a better use of my time than just doing my own music, because
How?
Because I get to help out other people, and I get to connect with other people. And I've made so many friends since I've started doing this. I've met so many more people. It feels like a bigger mission to me, and like a bigger kind of journey to be on, running a label, rather than just trying to get my own music out there. And I still am working on music and stuff, and I love doing that. But this feels like going one step above, like just being a band. Now I get to help out like many bands.
Yeah.
It's so that's really satisfying for me.
That's good. And with the new administration, it's probably, it is more important now to like support local musicians and everything like that. What are your thoughts about maintaining that community and boosting more bands?
Out here in the Inland Empire area, or just, we're a little bit outside of LA. I know here in Pomona, we're technically LA County, Claremont's LA County.
Do you centralize your bands around the Inland Empire area?
Yeah, so that's nice. Kind of what I've been trying to focus on. I'm just starting to expand out of that, and like I really am open to working with anybody, anywhere who's interested, but primarily this area right here, because I feel like there's so much music culture and so many great local bands, and it's kind of like a little bit untapped at this time. Compare that to somewhere like LA, where I think it's a lot more of a competitive scene. There's a lot more people trying to make it.
Yeah.
And my experience has been working with people out here. People are so much more willing to help each other out and kind of have a community of like uplifting each other, you know, and it doesn't feel like super as competitive here.
Yeah.
It feels like everyone's kind of, you know, we're working all together, kind of, and that's something I love about the IE and the scene here. And I also want to just take this moment to give a quick shout out to Dustin and Utopian Voids, because the stuff he's doing is great. Like, this is, you know, I'm so glad we started talking and working together, because I think we kind of have this same vision of trying to put on the IE, you know, trying to put on the 909, and it's going really well. These shows we've been doing here in Pomona, I've been really pleased. I've had a great time at all of them, so I'm looking forward to this next one, March 8th.
So you've been doing a lot of interviews for Utopian Voids. What has been your funnest interview so far?
Pleasure. I want to give them a shout out because, yeah, they brought me snacks.
Yeah, they brought me snacks before too.
And they also really wowed me with their live performance here. That was a month or two ago. They were really great, and just like really different too, like doing their own unique thing that I really haven't seen before, which you know, that's what I love about seeing local bands. You might find something completely new that is, you know, no one's really doing yet, you know.
Going back to new, do you have any new releases coming out in the next month or so? Yeah,
so I have one that I'm really excited to talk about. This has been a huge one for me. I've been working on it for like over a year, but this is the 909
cute.
Dead Batteries compilation.
Look at the cute case.
Yeah. So this one, another local hero here who is working hard on keeping the scene going, and I'm trying to uplift artists, which is DJ Blastum. I believe he is out in Uplands. And so he put together this compilation. It's 45 tracks.
Nice.
It's all local artists, and you know, it's about 2 hours of music. And he had asked me, you know, prior to him putting this together, it's like, hey, would you want to put this on tape? And I said, yeah. And then he finishes the compilation, and it's 45 tracks, like 2 hours of music. I'm like, oh my God, how am I going to put this on tape? So what we did,
open that.
This is my first double cassette release.
Oh, it's so cute.
So we got on 2 cassettes now, and
you handed all of that stuff.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
That's super DIY.
Yeah, it's really fun. What I love about doing physical releases and like manufacturing these and stuff is that it is a combination of art and music. Like, you are doing design when it comes to doing the layout stuff, and then you're kind of putting that music into a physical form. So I've always been really into like art and music stuff, and this feels like the culmination of like all of my interests and passions into one field.
It totally is. Do you have any other new releases coming out?
So all the ones I have here are all of my past releases I've done over the last couple of years, which are like these 9. As far as stuff I have planned for this year, so this is actually getting out of the 909 and IE. There's one guy in Buffalo, New York, who asked me to if I would be interested to do a tape release for him. It's his artist name is Bite Handle, and it's kind of like some lo-fi kind of ambient, almost like a beats or instrumental hip hop adjacent kind of music, and I'm really excited to do that release for him to kind of get out of this. You know, I want to support this area primarily, but it feels great to expand a bit as well. And then I have a couple more releases for like my friends, just my good friends who have been doing music. I got like a ambient electronic release planned for this year. My friend Sarah Mack, and then I also there's been one release. I have them all recorded and I just haven't put them out yet, but this is actually my dad's music. Billy Prue and Tommy too, if anybody's familiar. They played all the local bars here, but yeah, it's some blues harmonica and guitar, great stuff. So hoping to get that one out this year as well.
What would be a dream band for you to release?
You know, I'm really happy to work with anybody, first off, but a dream band. There's who's that? There's a couple local bands here who I'm really big fans of. Wait, what did he even say?
I think he said Kid Rock.
Kid Rock? I mean, if I was really doing a dream band, I would say like, okay, yeah, let's do all the old Boards of Canada albums that are unreleased that they like only did on tape for their friends and family, like their demo tapes. That would be the real dream band, but that's not going to happen unless I go work at Warp Records. So yeah, but like local stuff, realistically, dream bands that I'm hoping to work with soon is a local band called Dreary. I'm a huge fan of them. I've seen them live quite a few times, and I know they've talked that they are going to release an album soon. And then also another local band who I recently met through Dustin, who I'm a huge fan of now, is Deer Pond, and they are working on a release soon as well. So I'm hoping both of those bands we can get some releases together.
And I always like talking about food. So do you have any favorite places in the IE?
So right now I'm living in Claremont, and there's so much good food in Claremont Village.
Is there?
I think so. You don't think so?
I don't know.
Really?
There's not a lot of vegan options, so
Okay.
it comes from a different lens, yeah.
That's true. Yeah. I didn't think about it that way, but I really enjoy. I'm like a regular and addicted to Union on Yale in Claremont. Like they have great cocktails there, and they have like pizza, burgers, like all kinds of good stuff. Both of the Japanese restaurants in the Claremont Village are great. And then outside of Claremont, I grew up in Upland most of my life. There's a spot on Foothill there called Route 66 Tacos and Tamales, TNT. Place is fire. Ruben's Tacos, place is fire. And then LA, 100%. You got to check out Yang Chow if you've never been there. That's like my favorite Chinese spot in Chinatown.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you so much for
welcome.
making the time to come out here. And thank you so much for interviewing me and talking about all the local stuff we got going on here.
Yeah.
And I just want to say such a huge fan of KSPC. I've been listening my whole life. So
Aw, that's cool.
It feels like an honor to be a little bit tangentially involved here. So yeah. I'm listening throughout the week, all the time. So
yeah. Well, 2 KSPC DJs.
I didn't even know that until recently.
Yeah. He had a very popular show. You could tell it's you, Dustin. Yeah.
Ever listen to the weather report?
It's a good show.
Oh, that one's yours? I have heard that one. I'm trying to think. Dennis and Bill. Bill and
Oh,
Dennis.
yeah.
That's probably my current fave at the moment.
Yeah.
But I love everything on KSPC.
Thanks.
So,
It's a cool place. This is Dia with Utopian Voids, and I've been talking to Tom from Suburban Helltapes. Back to you.
Thanks for watching.